everyone, my name is Janett and I do aged care. Thank you so much and welcome to my YouTube channel. This week I'm talking about the interest and taxes in EBITDA, and last week I posted a video where I was talking about the earnings. So we are tracking the whole acronym of EBITDA. I'm not going to waste much of your time, but I've been receiving so many responses through email, and people have been liking the videos, and some people have been subscribing to my channel, and thank you so much. And let's keep this conversation happening because the new standards of aged care are coming along, and I've already received some invitation to talk about how this is going to change the whole aspect of quality care in residential aged care. So without further ado, I will get into this small video. Okay, so this week I thought I would discuss the interest and taxes in EBITDA. Now, interest, I'm just going to give you a few examples so that at least people are aware what is involved in this. The people who have actually requested for this, they are just keen to know what's covered in the interest and what's covered in the taxes. So I just thought I would make a small video today. Now, interest, for example, we are talking about interest on building insurance premiums. That's one example of what the interest would be in EBITDA. So this I and T are the ones that we're discussing this week. The goods, equipment and services, they also accumulate, or businesses normally pay interest on some of the goods and equipment that they purchase. Business indemnity premiums, they are also charged the interest there, especially when it comes to different aspects of insurance. For example, you've got the contents insurance as well as part of the building. I'm not going to delve much into that, but obviously this is an example of what the interest would be. Professional and guild insurance is also covered in interest, because a lot of businesses, we're talking of residential aged care, so they employ professionals and they need to be indemnified. And also workers' compensation premiums. This is a huge aspect, and I'll discuss further in this video regarding workers' compensation and the interest on premiums that are paid by big businesses, especially in the health industry, including residential aged care. Now, some of the taxes, so we are talking about this T here in EBITDA. Some of the taxes will include, for example, city or land tax. That's another form of tax that businesses normally pay as part of business property. Payroll tax, also goods and equipment services tax. So there are a lot of different taxes that are involved when people have got a very large number of employees, and they've got this payroll tax that they have to pay to the government. And you also have your local government or council rates and taxes, or usage tax. So some of these, they come in all different bills depending on what the services are and what are the stipulations of the different local government authorities there are. The other tax would be in line with all different licenses, whether you've got a pharmacy within the residential aged care facility. It could be an interest for drugs, for example. So you pay some of those licenses and taxes as well. Now, okay, so because it is part of this formula, and this formula is about stipulating what the profitability of a business would be. So interest and taxes are some of the expenses that are subtracted before the earnings. So we would like to explore what are the key ones that the businesses normally look forward to, and which ones are in place, and how does this then transcend to the care that is provided to the clients. Now, we've got a lot of talk about risk management, and we're also talking about the rights for the residents, the rights for the staff who are working there. So there's a lot of debate about which is what, but what I would like to point out is the key aspects of interest and rates that the business will protect, or maybe they pay more attention to reduce, are workers' compensation. It's one target that they need a reduction so that people are not claiming. So improving health, providing equipment, education, and all these aspects of risk management, you find that they are quite intact in a lot of businesses. So reduction of damage to the building, it could be damage through destruction by someone just punching some doors or slamming doors, or it could be fire, for example, for those residents that smoke. Sometimes if they are left unsupervised, they can throw a cigarette and poof, a fire will go off. Okay, so there are a lot of things that have been put in place regarding all these aspects of making sure that at least there are some risk management strategies that are implemented. The other one would be the reduction of deaths as a result of accidents or incidents. So this is where omission and commission comes into play. For example, someone falls down because there was a spill of water on the floor. Someone trips and they fall, hit their head, and they pass away. So it's all these aspects of, okay, what do you do when you're cleaning a floor? Do you put a sign to say wet floor and things like this? So some of these aspects are quite straightforward. What is not straightforward are the rights for the residents. A lot of the facilities and businesses at the moment are saying that we are non-smoking organizations. But then when you have a resident that suffers maybe with dementia, and either they drink alcohol or they smoke or they engage in some other risky behavior, what are their rights? Because it then goes into how do we risk manage that? And then the question would be, do they still have a right, or are their rights restrained, or they are limited, or they are pseudo rights? I don't have a definition for these rights, but it's always stressed that someone has got a right, someone has got a right, but we restrain. For example, if someone drinks alcohol in residential aged care, they are taking medications, drugs and alcohol, they interact. So you find that a lot of the times we ask the doctors to actually prescribe 30 mils of Baileys mixed into the milk to make the Milo at 7 o'clock. It has got to be very specific. This is just an example. I'm not saying that it's happening, but in other places it happens that alcohol is actually prescribed, and it's into that measure that the nurses would then have to administer. The same with smoking, for example. Smokes, we do not give a person their smokes and their lighter to keep in their room because it's dangerous. So damage to the building, for example, that will be impacted. So a lot of the cigarettes are kept in a locked cupboard, in a room that is also locked, but they've got a right to smoke. So are we saying they've got that right to smoke, or are we just saying that we guide them or we facilitate their smoking activity? So I'm not going to dwell much into that, but these are some of the interest and taxes that are part of the EBITDA. But as part of that, there's also some risk management strategies that are in place to make sure that at least there's a minimization or reduction of this. But what we are still saying is, whatever they are doing to minimize all this, we are not going to compromise the responsibilities and the accountabilities of the nursing part of the care. We are not going to compromise the quality of care because of this. So thank you so much for watching this video. In the next video, I'll be talking about depreciation and amortization. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. My name is Janett from KSF Nursing Services. I do aged care and I love working in aged care. Bye for now.